Because now that you are coming from the other end, your brains are thoroughly brainwashed. You come back here and you are the weakest link on the system. So come with me today. We need correct information. Number two, we need correct passion. One more time. We need correct passion. You need to translate your information from the head into your heart. And love Africans and feel for the Africans. Have compassion for the Africans. Find the Africans. Where are they? What are they doing? How can my philosophy, my professorship, my doctorate, my certificate help my fellow Africans to become a better person?
Alignment.
Unfortunately, we display our houses with the doctorates that we have, and you can't even manufacture a whole engineer who can't even manufacture a toothpick. I'm not asking for something complicated. A what? Or pads for our young ladies. Pads. You simply take cotton and etc. and put a lining on it and produce pads locally. Someone with me? Produce pads. I'm not asking for complication. That may be trying to make a rocket. Let's leave that for tomorrow. For tonight, we just make toothpicks. Africa is importing billions of toothpicks from China. And we have engineers who sit after Nyamachoma. Yeah, this is the problem of Africa is, hey, you are the sleeping problem yourself, because your education has not made you relevant. Instead, your education has made you a useless piece of uneducated furniture that is wasting space and air on the African continent. I mean, if you're an engineer for 10 years and you have discovered nothing, you have innovated nothing, you have created nothing, chemical engineer, I'm a pharmacist, farming my food. You can't even just take a small little herb in the bush and make a tablet. I mean, come on guys, you don't need mathematics. You can dissolve some chlorophyll in water and make a solution. And then boil the solution, remain with the powder, make the powder, package it up, and there is your medicine. Or take the roots, put them in alcohol, drain the alcohol, evaporate it, then what remains? There is a chemical. Or use other things. There are 1,000 ways. Our grandmothers knew how to make gin, as they call it. You put your banana leaves and what and rapoko and sorghum, boil it in a big pot, and then put a pipe that comes out of that, put a cold blanket around that, fractional distillation, and then it will be dropping on the other side, a drop at a time. Now if you don't know the scientific method of the past, how can you relate to the present and challenge the future? Collect correct information. Find your heart. Where is your passion? But it's not just about passion. Find your hand. What are you going to do about it? What is your action plan? What are the do's as you go forward? So Africa needs to combine just those three H's. H number one, the head. H number two, the heart. H number three, give yourself a round of applause, 100% in the class. So here we go. Full swing. I come from an institution called Farmers of Thought, where we have taken the model of farming into the models of thinking. So we use common knowledge to teach uncommon knowledge. Are you following? We use the simple to explain the sophisticated. We use the basics to explain that which is beyond understanding. So I take you to Farmers of Thought, where I say just farm your head, farm your heart, and farm your hand. Is that okay with you? Yeah. And the best illustration is an illustration of a tree. There a tree is standing. First platform are the roots. So here's the statement: roots we water. Come with me? Roots we water. Did you think I'm talking about the roots? These are your ancestors. This is your history. This is where you come from. And this supports everything. Everything does not support this. You didn't hear me? Roots support a tree. A tree does not support the roots. And the tree grows from the roots. If you don't know your roots, you are a pot plant in a colonial pot plant. Once you get to the roots, you may just find that you are connecting with the fountains of water that are in the ground. And that's where life begins. On another day when I come, we'll go deeper into the ground and find why we bury our loved ones in the ground. And when plants are having conversations and collecting nutrients, what is it that ends up in our fruit that is coming from the ground? That's the only advantage of bringing my lunch box with me when I travel. Only those who are fast can catch me. The rest of you, you must ask when you get home, what did he say? Roots you water, trees you look after. Fruits you eat, seeds you plant. Simple. Roots you water. Trees you look after. Fruits you seeds you. Your ancestors are your roots. Your father and mother are your trees. You are the fruits. And inside you are the seeds for the next generation. And by the way, for the purposes of progress, what is in the roots is in the tree. What is in the tree is in the fruit. What is in the fruit is in the seed. And when the seed is planted, it will grow to the same quality and the same species of the roots from whence it has come. Then those who have gone to theology school come and ask me, so what do you say about ancestors? And I say, ancestors, it is you in the past and it is you in the future. Oh, can I make it easier? Ancestors. It is a meeting place of the past and the present. The past and the future. It meets in the present. And you are the present. A full representation of where you are coming from. A full representation of where you are going. And the two spaces of time are present. So time, if you come to me on a nice day, time is not cyclical, according to my fellow Chinese and etc. Time is not cyclical or zodiacal. Time is not linear, according to the Romans. In African spirituality, time is vertical. Time is vertical. Time is present. Time is here. We don't have fear of the past, for the past is right here. We don't have fear of the future. The future is right here. If there were mistakes in the past, we correct them right here. If there are challenges in the future, we prepare for them right here. Therefore, today is the future, and today is the history.
Teach them.
The issue that we are suffering right now in the Pan-Africanism, just to put some disclaimer clauses, is that our idea of Pan-Africanism has been contaminated by concepts of democracy. Come with me? Has been contaminated by what? You cannot be a Pan-Africanist and you still believe in the rubbish of democracy. Because you are simply changing masters from socialism to capitalism, or from capitalism to socialism. The bosses are still the same. You have not gone anywhere. You are like a rabbit that is running in a mill and thinking I'm going somewhere, but you are still in the same place. We had our own concept of governance. So, come with me. I'm a good teacher. So I'm going to ask for 7 young people to come forward. I'm going to start with you, madam. Let's call it governance. Put your hands together for governance. I am writing a software in your spirit. You won't need anyone else to talk to you about African issues and Pan-Africanism. We are settling it tonight. When I'm done with you here tonight, all of you will be clear of the agenda of where we are going and what we are supposed to be doing. Because I hear a lot of things. I belong to more than 40 or 50 Pan-African groups. Yes, stand right there. I'll be calling you as I want you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one, the uniform also. Come and paint this place look nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, too late. Too late for classification. I have my 7. So let's move here to the far end here. Let's call her name governance. What is her name?
Governance.
Come on, what is her name?
Governance.
Through governance, we learn the first problem of the bottlenecks that we are talking about. One of the first problems that we have in Africa is the problem of governance. There are many ways of governing a society. From meritocracy to democracy to benevolent dictatorship to monarchical systems to fiducial whatever, the whole dozen methods of ruling and governing people. And Africa is running her country, Africa is running herself using borrowed governance systems. All right? The problem of governance is that governance brings its own religion. Governance brings its own marriages. Governance brings its own banking system. Governance brings its own education. When you swallow this tablet called governance, in a democratic way, you actually have to accept everything else that is going with it. This is exactly where President Museveni is right now. He signed a treaty some time ago. Uganda will be democratic. Huh? It will be. Now they come 5 days later and say, oh, if you are democratic, you forgot paragraph 5 of democracy. It also speaks about rights. What rights? Their rights. But you say democracy is majority rule. Now, I'm going to get philosophical, yeah? So follow me carefully. You say democracy is majority rule. So people have voted. So 100 people are voting. 90 people say no. 2 people say yes. Democracy says you go with the majority. They come with human rights and says no, majority does not count. Minority must govern majority. And we say no, but the definition of democracy is that if we as people say we don't want it, then we don't want it. No, there are other sections that protect human rights within the democracy, that the minority must be protected. But now this is where it gets complicated for me, because now it doesn't make sense. I don't know, some of you maybe are smarter than me. I know there's some professors here. Maybe you've been able to process it. I failed to process it. Because when I looked at the definitions and the applications and the challenges of Africa, now it looks like this thing is not coming together in a good way. Governance is the first problem that we have. And there are many bottlenecks here. For the African governments can only do so much. And they can't do so much more. Because the quality of their governance removes all the indigenous governance systems and leaves the country in the hands of politicians. You can quote me on this one until the cows come home. Every African government is a crime scene. Ask me why. Ask me why. We have African leaders who are ruling countries that don't belong to them. The land does not belong to the politician. The land belongs to the indigenous people. So through democracy, power has been moved from the indigenous people to a group of politicians somewhere there. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm talking this as an African problem. So don't even try to make Museveni feel bad towards me. This is truth. It's the problem of Uganda, the problem of Zimbabwe, the problem of South Africa, the problem of Libya, and as long as we don't talk about it, we will never be able to solve it. So governance is number 1. Come, number 2. Let's call her education. What is her name? No, she's saying my name is Popsy. Your name is education for tonight, all right? Her name is what?
Education.
Her name is education. Governance, then education. Education speaks to the quality of information that the African must have so that he can be able to champion his own future. Our education right now is a passport to travel out of Africa and die on the Mediterranean because you are educated. Your skills must go somewhere else where they can be appreciated. The African studies everything else about other people except nothing about himself. Nothing about herself. Our education does not help us. We study how many legs does a grasshopper have. How many of you still remember the tibia, the thorax, and what thorax? So when last did you apply the thorax of a grasshopper? I understand if you are going to do agriculture, then it's fine. Are you with me? Maybe it's okay. But to force the whole community to be studying the thorax of a grasshopper, I don't even remember when last I saw a grasshopper and where the grasshopper thorax fits into my equation. But if you fail to identify the thorax on an exam paper, then you are not educated. How about that? Eh? So our education is memorized driven. It is not solution driven. One more time. It is. So you go there upon the summit of the height, where only windswept creatures grow, bungling by the dawning light, watches the plains below. Upon the highest rocky way, dimly by the golden streaks of dawn, and he, a patient sentinel, shouts, "Go home!" to the offended sky, to show that all is well. A white fish eagle sails along, its mighty pinion humping true, till down towards the island. Well, he's got it! He's got it! You've just memorized the poem. So where in life are you going to apply that poem? Unless you want to become an entertainer, like my brother. But if I fail to memorize a poem, am I stupid? Am I uneducated? So we find that our educational system only specializes in memorizing, and the subjects that they've chosen to measure IQ are irrelevant to our resources. Now follow me carefully. I'm going for higher grade now. You see, it is sickening for you to be studying the thorax of a grasshopper and doing a memorizing of a poem when your house is sitting on top of a diamond mine. And you don't know the geographical, meteorological composition of the ground where your house is sitting. So the first subject in class must be, who are you? Identify yourself. Where do you come from? I would suggest rather geography must be one of the first subjects, which must teach children what kind of plants grow in your place, what kind of minerals are found in your place, what kind of animals are found in your place, what kind of business can you start in your place. That gives us number 3. His name is what? Business and economics. First bottleneck?
Governance.
Governance, we're talking about putting laws and regulations that make it easier for Africans to do business. Right now, if you are found right here with the police carrying a diamond, you will be arrested. You will sleep in jail. Then you walk up to court and ask, why are you arresting me? Then they tell you, we have a policy and a law that was formulated in 1925, 1933 about the Black Act that Africans must not carry diamonds. Who wrote that law? Which year was that law written? For who? For the why? So we need young politicians who can walk up to governing systems and challenge these laws that are no longer relevant to the African children and unlock businesses, unlock education, unlock commerce. Because the law is one of the biggest impediments on the African space. You must only do business in white hands. You can't do business in black hands. You tell me that our forefathers had policies to build the pyramids. They had policies to build the empires. They had regulations and laws that forbade people to. On another day we'll talk about community structures. But today let me run. Her name is? If you fail in my class, you must quit life. Her name is?
Governance.
And her name is?
Education.
His name is? Now this one is interesting business. Business is the mother of politics. In fact, politics is the prostitute of business. Money is politics. And the one who has money determines how the government runs. So hear me well. When a Chinaman does business with a Chinaman in China, it's called business. When an American does business with an American, it's called business. When a British does business with a British, it's business. When an African does business with an African, it's corruption.
Woo!
I want you to process that. Because Africans are not meant to, and if you are not doing business with government, you are still in small business. The day you start business, big business, the government is the biggest supplier, biggest consumer, biggest client in the country. But then we are told you can't do business with government. But why you are not doing business with government? Tell me one African man who is doing business with the Royal House in Britain. Show me one African who is doing business in China with the government of China. Show me one African who is supplying weapons to the American government. They do their stuff together. While we Africans are busy suspecting each other. Because Africans must never know the value of real business. So number one, create good policies in your government so that you can actually have a correct form of education. And from a good form of education, you can run a correct, comprehensive strategy of how do we as Africans run our own business and own our own economy. Are we together? If you don't have money, shut up. Poor people don't have choices. Put that between your ears and be happy to sleep at night. Poor people have no choices. We must hear these ministers when we elect them into power and they are giving speeches. Then they go, oh, we are doing this for the poorest of the poor. We are doing this for the indigent. We are doing this for the unbankable. We are doing this for the orphans and the mothers and the disabled. But when we are looking for the votes, we're looking them from the disabled and the indigent. So immediately when we are in power, all of a sudden it is us and them. Let me take number 4. Number 1, her name is? Number 2? Number 3? Number 4. Wait for me. I'll be giving you shortly. Number 4, let's call his name. Let's call his name agriculture. What is his name? Agriculture. His name is? Agriculture. Health is wealth. Without good health, even the richest man is poor. Many of us are dying not because of what is outside there, but the stuff that has gone through our teeth. So food is war. Food is war. When people have abundance of food, they have no appetite for politics. Can I go slowly? When people are politics, no, let me make it easier for you. I'll ask him to give this one $10,000 right now and give him an option between going to a political rally or go to the bank to cash the money. Where will he go? Where will he go? Why the bank? But you must go and protest. Because when you talk about money, even the appetite for politics dies. Agriculture therefore speaks of health. We are eating lots of GMO foods as Africa. And because we are sick in terms of what we eat, we cannot think correctly. I don't want to de-associate our indigenous foods, the foods that our forefathers used to eat, and they lived longer than us. Can I throw a spanner into the works? Can I throw a spanner into the works? If civilization, follow me carefully, if is measured by posterity and longevity of life, and our forefathers lived 100, 110, 120 years, and we say they were uncivilized, and we are civilized and we can not even make it past 45, then who is civilized? Come on.